Prologue. The herd's ambition. The Lanaktalan Grand Most High Executive Muru Udadai stood on the bridge of his flagship, Fury of the Unstoppable Herd, a leviathan of gleaming alloy and bristling weaponry that dwarfed lesser vessels. His four eyes scanned the holographic displays, each showing the might of his task force. 1,000 warships, from sleek destroyers to city-sized super dreadnoughts, all crewed by the elite of the Homuda system. The Lanaktalan, a centaur-like species with a rigid caste system, had ruled the galaxy's core for millions of years, their great herd crushing all who dared resist. Now they turned their gaze to the Terran system, Sol, home of the primates, a young, belligerent race that refused to kneel. Muru Udadai was no ordinary commander. Taller than his peers, his massive frame strained the seams of his tailored uniform. His analytical mind and pattern recognition had earned him renown, his calm demeanor a balm to the often fractious Lanaktalan hierarchy. Yet for 6 months, in hyperspace, he had felt wrong. His joints ached, his appetite was insatiable, and his uniforms required constant retailoring. The ship's doctor, a nervous Most High technician, had muttered about hyperspace energies or parasites, but found no answers. Muru was not alone. Many in his task force, especially those in leadership, reported similar symptoms. Growth spurts, headaches, a strange sense of unease. The mission was clear. Invade Sol, crack Terra, and teach the primates the meaning of Lanaktalan supremacy. The executive fleet, drawn exclusively from Homuda's finest, was the hammer to shatter Terran defenses. Muru's neural templates, memory implants, and mnemonic training had prepared him for this moment. Yet, as the fleet neared the Sol system, a nagging doubt gnawed at him. The task force's designation, a 9-digit code, resembled the name of a fruit from his childhood home, Uturu. It was a trivial detail, but it unsettled him, as if the universe were whispering a warning. Chapter 1. The Descent. The Fury of the Unstoppable Herd dropped from hyperspace just beyond the Oort cloud, the outermost boundary of the Sol system. The fleet's arrival was a silent roar, 1,000 ships materializing in the void, their hulls glinting against the distant light of Sol's yellow star. Muru Udadai sat in his command cradle, a biomechanical throne that pulsed with data, feeds. His tendrils curled around the controls, his eyes fixed on the tactical display. "Cease all movement," he ordered, his voice a low rumble that silenced the bridge. His crew, a mix of most highs and lesser highs, obeyed without question. The navigator, a wiry Lanaktalan named Kliatak, glanced at him, his flank patterns faintly resembling the smiling faces of Gupti squeaklings, a neo-sapient species Muru had encountered on his homeworld. The resemblance was uncanny, another oddity that tugged at his mind. "Grand Most High, why halt?" Kliatak asked, his voice cautious. Muru stared at the task force number on his screen. It was the Uturu fruit, its shape mirrored in the digits. "Something is wrong," he said, more to himself than his crew. "Scanner, report the status of the corporate and military fleets." The Most High scanner technician, a fidgety Lanaktalan named Huvismo, looked up from his instruments. "The corporate fleet is completely destroyed, Grand Most High. The military fleet is at 50% strength and dropping. Terra's planetary batteries are engaging them at point-blank range." Muru's tendrils curled in surprise. "Firing rate of the planetary siege batteries?" Huvismo hummed, checking his data. 12 shots per minute, Grand Most High. Even the guns on the 9th planet, which is breaking apart, fire at least 10 shots per minute." Muru's mind raced. Most planetary batteries fired once every 10 to 15 minutes. Terra's defenses were an order of magnitude faster, and their NCV cannon batteries, 15 to 20 shots per minute, Huvismo replied, his voice tinged with awe. "As if they're firing small rounds, not massive shells." Muru leaned back, his headache returning. "Navigator, hold position. Drop battle screens, raise particle and debris shields only. Take all guns offline." The Most High gunner officer, a stout Lanaktalan named Erul, blinked. "May I ask why, Grand Most High?" Muru's eyes narrowed. This is an unwinnable fight. I will not waste the great herd's talent, your lives, on a lost cause. Cleotak's tendrils twitched. What will we do, Grand Most High? Wait, Muru said. Perhaps a ship lands a lucky shot. Perhaps Terra itself breaks apart. He paused, his voice dry. Or perhaps nupty birds will burst from my anal cavity and sing us a song. The bridge crew chuckled nervously. But the Grand Most High of Ground Forces, a grizzled veteran named Architac, snorted. Fighting Terrans on the ground is like a cud expecting not to be chewed. These primates excel at war. Ground, air, space. They've known nothing else. The Grand Most High of Aerospace Fighters, Katak, nodded. Our fighters have taken horrendous casualties. The 9th planet, barely atomically separated from its parent star, barely qualifies as a planet. Yet, it fights on. The lights flickered. Muru frowned. In form engineering we may have electrical issues. Cleotak's voice was grim. Or it's Terran electronic warfare boarding us. A female voice roared over the speakers, brash and confident. Give that man a cigar. Well, this is interesting. Why aren't you moving in with the others? Muru signaled his crew to stay calm. The fight is lost. We would retreat, but that option is unavailable. Unlike my people, I believe yours. Says surrender or be destroyed. Yes, we do, the voice replied. The holotank flickered, revealing a Terran female made of light, her form woven with streaming code. Give the order to stand down, and I won't rip this ship apart around you. Comms, pass on my instructions, Muru ordered. Remain in position. All offensive systems offline. The Communications Most High nodded, relaying the order. Responses came quickly. All ships acknowledge Grand Most High. Muru studied the Terran. You are a digital sentience of the Terran Confederacy. Very astute, she said. I'm Ort Singer 98832, Colonel, Terran Defense Force. Cleotak tilted his head. The way your code flows to approximate human clothing is unpleasing. The edges of your gloves resemble Stellipa plants whose fragrance is delightful. Ort blinked. It's what? Your outfit is aesthetically pleasing, Errol added. Shit, Ort muttered. She held out a blot of code. Does this remind you of anything? The crew examined it, arguing over what it resembled. Some saw a flower, others a weapon. Muru nodded, letting them debate. Do you surrender? Ort asked. Do I have your oath to treat my men with the respect my people would not afford? You? Muru asked. Ort sighed. Yes, keep your drives, weapons, and screens offline. I'll mark you as surrendered. Muru nodded, his crew relaxing. Your oath is appreciated. I do not wish to throw my men's lives away. Ort studied. Him. You're bigger than most Lanaktalan. Any reason? Our world has high gravity. A third again your world's, Architac offered. Another data point. Ort summoned a chair and sat. You don't think your people will prevail? Muru shook his head. No, striking Terra has never worked. May we bring up our scanners? He asked. Sure, Ort said. We've got a good seat. Might as well watch. The screen lit up, showing the carnage. The military fleet repeated the corporate fleet's mistakes, charging into Terra's defenses and being obliterated. Muru felt a deep sadness. He knew. The attacks on other systems were doomed. He didn't know how. He just knew. Chapter 2. The Valley of Verdant. Doom on Terra's surface. The 20th Lesser Most High of the Augmented Mobile Infantry, Moavwat, stood at the edge of a forested valley. His battalion, 2,000 troops supported by massive 200-ton armored personnel carriers, had landed near a place called Iron Fence, in a region marked as some Verdant Doom Historical Park and Hazard Zone. The map, provided by a Lanaktalan, spy posing as a diplomat, was unreliable. Moavwat's instruments had detected high electromagnetic activity and a massive facility by the river carving the valley. His aerospace fighters, 600 strong, had raced for the valley, eager to disable the facility. They went silent within seconds. 6 other infantry units had entered the forest and vanished. Now, Moavot's battalion waited in a parking lot, their vehicles idling, as he scanned the valley with macro binoculars. The trees were green, their cellulose trunks typical for a yellow sun world, but the branches were oddly rigid, shaped by Terra's heavy gravity. Patches of mist clung to the valley, giving Moavot a creeping unease. He saw the facility's shields shimmering through a gap in the forest, but no roads or river. White and black smoke rose in lines, forming a barrier with a single gap where his unit was to advance. "It's a trap," he muttered, chewing his cud. "We're ready to assault, Most High," his executive officer, a loyal but impatient Lanaktalan named Vudismo, said. "Get aboard the indomitable mobile armored infantry delivery individual. Occupation transport system." Moavot hesitated, launching a drone to skim the tree line. "Communications are empty, not even static. Check all bands." Vudismo clopped back to the vehicles, relaying orders. The drone swept east, revealing gaps where other units had entered the forest. When it veered inward, it disconnected instantly. Moavot sighed, trotting toward the trail leading into the forest. A hologram flickered to life, startling him. "Welcome to some verdant doom historical park and hazard zone," a human voice said, repeating in multiple languages. "Stay on the path. Do not leave your tour group. After dark, the Iron Fence government admits no responsibility for injury, death, or trauma." The hologram vanished. Moavot chewed his cud, the word ominous echoing in his mind. He raised his binoculars, noting black smoke, artificial objects burning. The gaps in the forest marked where other units' vehicles had entered, now burning. "It's a trap," he repeated. Vudismo returned. "Orders, Most High." "We go in on foot," Moavot said, pointing at the smoke. "A ridge or emplacement destroyed our allies. Follow the trail. All radios, comms, data links, and network links off." Vudismo nodded, relaying orders via runners. Moavot had heard of Terran electronic warfare, overheating implants, boiling Lanaktalan brains. He scanned the forest again. The smoke was graying, the valley beautiful yet unsettling. His 2,000 troops formed 20-man squads, each with one heavy weapon, network links. Disabled, Moavot led, hefting his ion neural rifle. Network off, safety on, fully loaded. The trail was silent, the air heavy. Around a corner, another hologram appeared. "Disable all electronic devices. Tour guides, check for electronics. The Iron Fence assumes no responsibility for injuries from non-compliance." Moavot turned to Vudismo. "Remove all power sources." "You believe the Terran hologram?" Vudismo asked, skeptical. "They're serious," Moavot said. "Terrans are individualistic, prizing independent action. This warning is antithetical. To them, it's important." Another hologram appeared, pointing to a trench. "This is the first siege line established by the Earth Defense Force, manned for 8 years to clear some verdant doom of Emperor ghosts. Heavy electromagnetic shielding, minimal electronics. They held back the ghosts during the second interdimensional invasion." Vudismo snorted. "Why listen to this?" "Something bothers me about this forest," Moavot said. The hologram continued. "Abandoned approximately 217 years pre-diaspora. Moved to the next historical point." Moavot trotted forward, spotting a tank. Its hull cratered, paint gone, endo-steel gleaming. A suit of unpowered armor hung half out, a skull in its helmet. "Why leave this here?" he asked. "Terrans value their dead." Vudismo shrugged. "Who knows with primitives?" Further on, Moavot glimpsed a flickering two-dimensional figure. First human, then Lanaktalan, then gone. "Spread out," Vudismo ordered. "Countermand, stay on the trail," Moavot snapped. Some troops had jumped the chain fence. They froze, squad leaders waving them back. For a moment, Moavot swore he saw a static Lanaktalan reach for a trooper. "Did you see that?" he asked. "Static on my visor from high EM activity," Vudismo said. Another hologram described World War I fortifications repurposed for the second line. "NATO's 4th Combat Force assaulted here, buying time for anti-EMP devices." 6. Months of grueling combat followed. The next holograms were static. Voiceovers grumbled. We'd reach the facility faster through the forest. No, Moavwat said. We're 3 hours behind. Take 90% of the men directly to the facility. I'll escort the rest down the trail. Voiceovers led 1,800 troops into the forest, grumbling about glory. Moavwat's 200 men followed the trail, passing overgrown tanks and skeletal remains. Why leave the dead, he wondered. Weapons fire erupted. Flickering white human forms rushed the fence, sparking against an invisible field. Some screeched, jaws wide. Troops jumped to engage, collapsing when touched, their visors revealing fleshless skulls. A grenade slumped the fence, posts shorting. Out. More figures flooded the path, felling troops. A battle screen crackled, trapping 20 men. Another grenade collapsed more fence, and the figures overwhelmed the rest. Moavwat and 7 survivors galloped to an open area, clustering defensively. The facility loomed, its shields glowing, the river flowing past. A hologram appeared. Some verdant doom was the longest battle of the second-dimensional invasion. Electromagnetic entities, EMP shades, held Terra for 8 years. The facility was never retaken. An electromagnetic shield contains them, but shades escape, weakened by distance and sunlight. Turn to Moavwat. Emergency services are unavailable. Remain in the historical area. It vanished. What are they? The 60th Most High asked. I don't know, Moavwat said, chewing cud. We wait for daylight. We hope the Earth Defense Force guards this place and rescues us. In the forest, a Lanaktalan screamed, then fell silent. Chapter 3. The hellscape above Terra. The Lanaktalan fleets faced a hellscape. Orbital defenses, lunar and groundside batteries, fired C++ cannons, kinetic slugs accelerated to relativistic speeds, and missiles with submunitions that cored ships. The fury of the unstoppable herd's shields flared, then failed as a C++ barrage cratered its armor. Missiles followed, their beams disrupting atomic forces, unraveling matter. The ship exploded. A white flash in the void. Dropships and fighters reached the surface, landing in Chromium Mecha Land, a region of forests and factories. The Great Most High of Infantry, Motosto, surveyed the mountains. Take the valley. Cut off reinforcements, he ordered. Their post-scarcity claims are nonsense. The Great Most High of Armor, Errol sneered. If we had atomics, this would be over. Terran warmechs, red, black, and yellow giants, emerged from the forest, firing missiles and plasma. Aerospace elements dropped napalm, melting tanks. The combat lasted 10 minutes, leaving Motosto's forces slagged. In a nearby city, corporate troops faced artillery and nanite drones. A squad's video showed waist-high robots materializing from fog, firing hypervelocity rounds and missiles. The robots puffed into dust after killing the squad, leaving no trace. Varnos, commanding the military landing zone, watched the videos. Terran nanites formed weapons on demand, negating supply lines. Civilians wore adaptive camouflage and modular armor, replacing damaged plates with nanite-repaired ones. A bakery's food dispenser glowed red, dispensing rifles, rockets, and crew-served weapons. They're in every house, every corner, Varnos muttered. No supply lines, just nanites. He ordered recon, watching fly-spec cams. Terrans mined streets with military-grade explosives, set up battle screens, and used silicate bags to absorb plasma. They're waiting, he told Moolo, the ground combat Most High. Your delays give them time, Moolo snarled. My men will take the city. A Terran hologram appeared. You're surrounded. Surrender or be destroyed. Moolo scoffed. A trick. Drop your shield. Polone. Does not surrender, the human said. We regret the loss of life, but you've left us no choice. He snapped his fingers. Hell fracking, an ancient Terran weapon, converted Moolo, his troops and hardware to steam. Varnos, outside the blast, shuddered. Chapter 4. The Vodkatrog. Blizzard in the Vodkatrog Empire. A blizzard raged, summoned by Terran weather control. Snow-buried dropships, Temperatures plummeted to 60 below zero, and winds howled at 40 meters per hour. Tarnu, the great Most High of military intelligence, struggled through waist-deep snow to the Tactical Operations Center. Inside, Most Highs argued. "It was sunny 9 hours ago," one bellowed. "This is a hell world." "My tank's lubricants freeze," another complained. "Mech's air intakes are damaged," Tarnu faced their scorn. "The Terrans caused this blizzard. They fight. In it, it's a weapon." The great Most High of the attack force, a towering Lanaktalon, demanded silence. "How long until the Terrans attack?" Tarnu shrugged. "We're in the Vodkatrog Empire, sparsely populated by technomads and primitives. They fight each other, so coordinated resistance is unlikely." "And our orbital ships?" the great Most High asked. "Gone," the orbital operations Most High said. "Domination-class super dreadnoughts, Leviathans, all destroyed by lunar, and groundside guns. Less than a quarter of our force reached the surface." Tarnu displayed a video of the Fury's destruction. C++ cannons, sub-munition missiles, atomic disrupting beams. One salvo destroys a super dreadnought. The great Most High's hooves shook. "What's our chance?" Tarnu's voice was grim. "None. The only question is how long it takes the Terrans to kill us." Chapter 5. The exiled fleet in the Oort cloud, ancient subspace beacons stirred, undetectable on forgotten channels. As the corporate fleet advanced, volleys erupted. Missiles, C++ cannons, singularity cannons, and drones. Kibuka, an immortal linked to a lost glass ship fueled by rage, fired with hate. His purple battle screens, thicker than ships, absorbed return fire. He micro-jumped, targeting command ships, his wrath a weapon. The Black Fleet emerged from dead space, led by Bellona aboard the Glear, a war-steel behemoth. Her showbridge, airless and scarred, hummed with psychic circuitry. She ordered her fleet, skull-proud ships like the Bismarck and Missouri, to fire on the corporate remnants. Her children, half with Kentai captains, fought with fervor, their crews loading multi-ton shells by hand. Legion's fleet formed a bull's head, missile wagons as horns, heavy ships as the skull. His cloning tanks replaced lost interceptors, and he analyzed enemy patterns, feeling Kibuka's rage and Bellona's shrieks. "I just wanted to be left alone," he whispered, knowing the Lanaktalon were doomed. Epilogue: The Inevitable Muru. Uda Dai watched the screens, Ort beside him. The Lanaktalon fleets burned, Terra unyielding. Mauvoit's survivors waited for dawn, EMP shades flickering in the dark. Varnos and Tarnu faced annihilation, their forces crumbling. The Black Fleet and Kibuka's wrath ensured no escape. Muru sighed. "It was inevitable," Ort nodded. "You're not like the others. Stay surrendered, and you'll live." In the Oort cloud, Kibuka fired, his hate eternal. On Terra, the shades waited. The Lanaktalon had come to conquer. They found only death.